Alright, hello everyone, this is Paragon, aka Evil Meat, here casting my first game. It's going to be a TVP on Jungle Basin. I'm actually casting a game of two friends here, Sandolski, who I know as Sandy, and Imagine is, well, you don't get to know his name, I'll refer to him as Imagine. Bit of a lie, this is actually my second game. The first game was, well, I cast it, and every time a Marine would shoot, I could barely even hear my own voice. So I'm giving it another shot here. Alright. Got a little messaging here. I mean, alright, so Jungle Basin, I mean, if this was a TVZ, maybe I would be saying that the Terran player is better off, but I think Protoss can have a pretty good chance here as well. I think both players can really just, you know, push through the center, especially with units like Colossi, just big fat units. They can really grab the center, get an advantage, and push to end the game. So we'll have to see how this plays out. I'll keep an eye on the production tabs. Protoss Scout getting up near Sandy's base now. So far, not going to find anything remotely out of the ordinary. Usual barracks at the wall. In fact, lately when I play Protoss, and I thought the same for Sandy, in fact, that walling off was a little out of style, especially against OGS MC type play, where, you know, Protoss player uses warp prisms in uses void rays in every possible way imaginable just to piss the Terran player off. They can use supply depots rather to charge up. Alright, so we'll get a little probe harass here, but Sandolski is going to be just fine. Just going to chase the probe around for a little bit until that first Marine comes out. Orbital going to be upgrading any second now. Similarly, Protoss player just finishing up a gateway, making probes, making pylons. First Marine coming out. Nothing too unusual here. Sandolski just getting his scout to the base now, and it's nicely timed because that Zealot isn't out yet. In fact, no Zealot being made. Interesting. We have one gas for Protoss. Cybernetics core coming up, as per the norm. Okay. Looks like Sandy's going to be expanding pretty quickly here. He has one gas, but notice that he only has one harvester in it. If you didn't notice, the latest patch added this little counter here in case you couldn't count how many guys were you know, harvesting Vespene gas. So handy for noobs, I guess. I mean, I imagine top players just might complain about this sort of thing. They complained a lot about the clock, the timer that they added in, saying it made the game too easy, but we'll have to see. Sandy throwing down a fast expansion. I've certainly seen him do this before. This is per the norm. Imagine making a stalker, rather, chasing around Sandy's scout. And we can see Sandy doesn't even know that he has a second refinery up yet. Presumably he'll find that out in just a sec. Oh, will he? Will he? Yes, he does. Okay. So he probably has a reasonable idea what's going on. Two gas this early can mean a number of things. Mainly that some sort of tech is coming up. Don't imagine Protoss is going to expand all that quickly. Sandy's probably feeling pretty safe about that right now. So he's likely going to put up, say, an engineering bay in a little while. He's going to throw down a scan maybe just to see what's happening at the Protoss base. Still just making, at the Terran side here, still just making Marines, putting up that second refinery. Let's take a look at the income tab. Sandolski is in the lead. He has less harvesters, but of course you can't forget the all-powerful mule. Marines just moving around right now, just taking map control. Going to the towers, moving back. I think it is a little suicidal to stay at the towers with Marines, since something like a stalker can massacre them with really no loss whatsoever, due to recoverable shields. So Sandy's just going to move back while massing up some troops here. Two more gateways actually coming up, which is going to put this to 4 gateways. So we have a 4-gate here by Imagine. Almost called him by his real name. 3 stalkers pushing up the center. Oh, having a little frame rate issue. Should resolve itself. And a whole bunch of Marines pushing to the center. This is interesting. Meanwhile, proxy pylon going on, so Jesus, if Sandy does not notice, okay, he surely notices these stalkers moving in his base now. He's going to raise this wall. Let's see what these Marines can do about it. 6 Marines against 3 stalkers. In fact, he has them cornered. I think Sandy's going to be just fine here. But we have stalkers warping into the back of Sandy's base as well. Taking out harvesters, probably going to lose a mule here. Zealots warping in as well. Marines fighting off, Marines and a Marauder now, fighting off the stalkers at the front of the base. Making, just getting stims now, is just a little less than halfway done. Imagine still pushing out Zealots and Stalkers, just pushing right into that base, trying to grab an economic advantage, and no advantage Sandy got from throwing down a fast command center. So, I mean, Imagine's actually in the Harvester lead right now. Income is in Imagine's favor, so if he can just keep this pressure on and not lose these units too quickly, and maybe throw down an expansion himself, he's going to want to do something with this advantage. He's not going to win with these units, I can tell you that right now, but he can definitely get a lot out of it. Sandy, I mean, even to get back to here, it's going to take time just to fly this thing. He's lost a lot of mining time, not to mention the SCVs in the first place. Back to production here. Sandy's pumping out Marines and Marauders. He's going to be fine. The economy has definitely taken a hit. He's going to be just fine. Stims, concussive shells just finishing up. Stims finishing just now, and the Stalkers are going to be routed pretty darn quickly. Still pushing Stalkers in. I think this is a bad move. I think he should pull out now. I think he should have just thrown down an expansion instead of continuing to push units in, but that's the 4-gate mentality, I guess. He's still pushing Sandy back. He's still doing some damage, so maybe it's for the best. We're going to have to see. Anything unusual? I mean, really nothing going on here, except for this battle here. We've got Imagine just making units, pushing them in. Sandy's units are getting pretty worn down, and it's going to be a while until he has a medevac out. So every force stim on these units is going to be a huge deal. Still pushing units in. Interesting. He brings out a sentry, so presumably he's going to try to trap some units inside this wall and kill them with stalkers, something like that. Here they come. Let's see if he can work it to any effect. Also just useful for keeping a zealot in so he can get close range. Sandy throwing down a bunker, which is probably a good idea. I think he can see just how all in this is. Imagine's been throwing units at it over and over again. Nexus is going down, which I am certainly happy about. I think that's a good idea. Sandy, having not expanded, is just, in a minute, he's just going to run out here and stomp everything out there. I mean, that's what you get for paying 400 minerals for a new Nexus. But worthwhile in the end, I think, as long as he doesn't continue to warp in units here. Sandy throwing in a factory, actually, so my guess is the factory itself isn't going to do a whole lot. It's just going to be a stepping stone to get to that starport, so he can get some medevacs out, so he can get the all-powerful MMM combination. Sandy doing a little more scouting, which is a good idea. Interesting, each of them have one Zelnaga watchtower, so this game is actually very, very even right now. Let's take a look at income. And Sandy is significantly ahead on... Oh, I see. He looks like Sandy slipped a little bit, made a whole bunch of mules. Well, rather, let his mule energy build up, so now he's able to make a whole bunch. We'll have to take a look at that in a minute. The supply right now, 52 for Imagine and 47 for Sandy, so a bit of an advantage for Imagine, but it's very close. And Imagine, being a smart fellow he is, made sure he had extra... How did I just forget what they're called? Extra pylons, that's what they're called. Extra pylons in case he gets supply blocked, and so he did not run into that problem, assuming he... no, okay, he is supply blocked. Desperately hoping he gets another pylon up. Oh, okay, that's gonna hurt. He just started the pylon, alright. Imagine's making immortals now. Sandy getting a reactor add-on. Looks to me like he's really gonna spam Marines, Marauders, and try to get some medevacs out. Reactor onto the starport. So definitely double medevacs. He's going to move these guys up and join them with medevacs as soon as they get out there. If you look at the armies right now, Sandy